Happy almost Mother's Day to you. Mother's Day is just around the corner. If no one remembers, I want to make sure to remember to honor you because I know all that you do and I see all that you do, and I want to cheerlead you on in this journey of being the homeschool mom, taking on all the responsibilities in your homeschool mom life. And so this week I wanted to give an offering to you. So this is a Homeschool Mama giveaway, and I have a variety of things that are in my basket, but this basket is filled with activities that are not just giveaway opportunities. They're also things from my real homeschool that I used for my homeschool. And just this last week, I was asked by a new homeschool mom, what should I put in the basket, the morning basket? I don't know what you call it. I don't know if you do it, but this is something that I did for years. And so inside this basket, I've got some of the very favorite things that I've got in here that I used over the course of time, the things that I just can't give away. But I want to, especially this Mother's Day, I want to dedicate this Mother's Day giveaway basket and really this entire Mother's Day to my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law is someone that in the beginning wasn't so convinced that this homeschool thing would be right by my family, would be right for my kids. And I don't know if that was your experience with various people that are important to you in your life, but I had that experience as well. And so she didn't actually directly say that she didn't agree. She loved my kids so much that she was questioning whether or not we should be doing this off the beaten path thing. She delighted in watching us sit around the homeschool table to open our books and the morning basket that I'm about to share with you. The math exercises that I did with my four, now my four are almost all grown, but she watched that and she watched our kids blossom and become who they were meant to be over the course of their couple decades. And they did. They became the beautiful, brilliant, compassionate, kind people that I know that she wanted them to be. And she did all of that by watching and waiting and being curious about how things might turn out. And she did it without criticism. And she did that by supporting me when I needed a nurturing mother that I wasn't able to access at the time. She sat beside me when I labored with one of my kiddos. She did a lot of laundry in my days. She taught my kids a lot of different games and also how to make tapioca pudding. And it's a good thing because I would not have eaten it, nor would I have taught them how to use it or make it. She did all sorts of different things. And so even though she was a little uncertain about this homeschool thing, she was supportive and she participated in my homeschool journey by celebrating the joys, watching my kids grow up. And she did all of this by just waiting and just being curious about how things might turn out without criticism. And I am so grateful for her. And because especially she passed away this past weekend, I know that her spirit of kindness and attentiveness and her willingness to engage the hard things for other people and to be the friend to those that were friendless will continue on here, because that is my goal as a life coach in the homeschool mom community. So I was asked to share what to put into this morning basket. And I'm going to show you the contents of some of the favorite things that I have had in my morning basket over the years. There are so many possibilities. I would suggest that anything that you include in this basket could be something that would help you explore maybe questions that your kids are asking, maybe questions you're asking, maybe there's certain interests that you've had that you didn't explore when you were younger. This is your opportunity. I also gathered those questions. And I would gather those questions and use them as an opportunity to check stuff out on YouTube. So I'd include like a 5-minute clip at times to learn more about whatever topic they were curious about. But it could be exploration stuff, it could be fun stuff for your kids or for you. It could be stuff that's kind of odds and ends to your homeschool, the stuff that you don't think really fits into the full day of your school. And also it could be things that you could create with your hands, because you could be keeping the kids busy while you're doing a read aloud. And I have actually found that kids are a whole lot more engaged when their hands are busy. So if morning basket isn't a new thing for you and you actually have one, you've been doing this for quite some time, I'd like to actually hear what you're including in your morning basket, if you put that down below. And also, if you're somebody who is planning for next year and you already know some of the resources that you're planning to put in there that are new, I would love it if you would put in the comments section a few things that you're doing. I always want to learn what it is that other people are actually using. And then if you are a business or a homeschool business provider, or you've got some sort of curriculum or resources that you want to share, then I would ask that you'd also put something that you're offering other homeschool moms. You're going to see a special product or a special book inside this basket that I was just given, sent by Sarah Mackenzie from Read Aloud Revival podcast, her new book offering. Very exciting for them. And it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous storybook. So I'm going to share with you what I've got in my basket. And some of these things will be in the Homeschool Mama giveaway this week. Alrighty. So first of all, no children are going to be available in this basket. This is me with my youngest way back when. Just proof that I actually did do homeschooling, because you'll see on my account a lot about homeschooling, but you won't always see the kids. So I've got a journal. This will definitely be in the Homeschool Mama giveaway, but I have also created journals. I have designed homeschool journals with prompts that I think will be beneficial for homeschool moms because I've been there and lived that. This one is the Wellness Guide for Homeschool Moms, a colored version of this journal, and it has many different prompts available inside. A journal for each day. There's a lot of beautiful self-compassion exercises, a lot of thought exercises, visioning exercises, all sorts of beautiful things. Of course, inside of this giveaway, you are going to see a bar of sea salt Lindt dark chocolate, because that's my very favorite, and also the copy of my book, Homeschool Mama Self-Care, Nurturing the Nurturer. And this is the beautiful book, Because Barbara Cooney Paints Her World. It's absolutely gorgeous, by Sarah Mackenzie. She's also given me another book. I feel like I'm getting my head start on books for my grandchildren who don't exist while everyone is sleeping. And I gave another one away in, I believe it was February. So some of the things that I would include in here. This is a collapsible chessboard. This obviously is not something that every child is interested in. I had a kiddo or two that were, and they would keep busy listening to the read aloud by keeping their hands busy. You could do any activities for that. I would go to the dollar store and get things like wiki sticks or, I don't know, cheap Lego building kind of products. Keeping the hands busy, it's useful. This is one of the first books that I actually used to teach my kids to read. I figured if I could learn to read with this book, they could too. And so this is something that I would do sometimes with one or two of the kids, depending on who was at that stage at the time. And when we were, let me see, I think we were in Kenya, we were in Western Africa, rural Africa, and we read A Wrinkle in Time. Really, if you haven't read this, you got to read this. So good. So there'd always be a read aloud in my morning basket. I personally really love learning about the great composers, or really learning about music history. So you could grab a Spotify playlist. You could actually just grab your Spotify app and do a little reading every morning, and then actually listen to the piece as you're reading it or after you're reading it. You could have one of the older kids read it as well. This is not a cheat. I just want to say, having your kids read something while you're sitting and maybe you're knitting or maybe you're folding laundry or something and the other kid's listening, that's not a cheat. That's useful. That's a useful strategy when you're homeschooling. I also, you're not going to notice what this is because I always take the book covers off of this, but this says Michelangelo. It's the Sistine Chapel, and I really love these kinds of big art books. This was very much we did do We did do a trip to Italy, and I loved the art in Italy. So I got that, I think, at a secondhand store. And of course, if you know me at all, then you'll know that I love Monet. And so we'd have this as a coffee table book, but it would also be something to look through every morning. Sometimes I used it for my Homeschool Mama quiet time. And I still can't find that CD. But The Story of the Orchestra by Robert Levine is one of my very favorite resources that just teaches us about musical instruments that you would find inside of the orchestra. And you can actually, I mean, the CD is remarkable. I know it's still for sale, but you can listen to the different instruments playing the different parts. And it's very readable, very easy to read. Highly recommend it. That one is not going anywhere. I will not be giving that one away. Then, of course, there's all sorts of coloring books that you can find at art galleries, some of my very favorite places to be. Vincent van Gogh. But this entire series, Katie and the Sunflowers by James Mayhew, they introduce you to various art and artists, and I really did enjoy every one of these stories. Also cannot give these ones away, but the art is beautiful, and so are the words. Naturally, I've got The Secret Garden in here, but part of the reason I included The Secret Garden is because I always had drawing things in an art basket, and oftentimes I'd spend 5 minutes using some art training book, a very simple one for me and the kids. I was fairly new at drawing when I first started homeschooling, so I was doing it alongside the kids. Also, you could just take a drawing book and go outside and take one of these chapters, read one of the chapters, have the kids read one of these chapters while you're doing a little nature journaling. And The Tales from Shakespeare by Charles and Mary Lamb. If no one's introduced you to this one, I think this one is a highly valuable book. It isn't super easy to read, but it most accurately depicts the story without real Shakespeare. It's sometimes tricky actually to bring in Shakespeare because there's a lot of really beautiful versions of it that are obviously not the legit version, but this one really puts together the plot really nicely, so it's easy to follow and it's readable. And how interesting. That bookmark from 1999. Okay, so Macbeth, well, that is a disturbing. Okay, anyways, this is some of the things that I put inside of my morning basket. And those were very sweet memories. Now, the giveaway that I'm going to offer you, the Mother's Day giveaway, will be open until Mother's Day. And on Mother's Day, I'm going to make sure to let everybody know who will be the winner. I will draw for the winner then. So if you will tag 3 people, let me know what's in your morning basket, and let somebody know about this giveaway, then I would be happy to put you into the draw for that giveaway. And if nobody says this to you, I just want to wish you a wonderful Mother's Day. I see that you're doing so much. You're trying to figure out all the things for your kids, and you're really trying to do the right and the best by them, or do right by them. I see that. So here I am. So until Sunday, you are able to enter for the free draw to the Homeschool Mama giveaway. I hope you have a wonderful Mother's Day.